I'm going to talk to you today about my first out of body experience. Now, based on this experience that I had last night, it has cemented my understanding that everybody experiences out of body states, or altered consciousness states. They're just not conscious of it, especially most predominantly when people are sleeping. When you go to sleep, and even in your waking state, you are experiencing alternate realities, parallel dimensions, alternate planes, higher planes of existence. You're just not conscious of it. You see, why is it that some of the Hindu gods, so called gods, they have pictures of them with 50 hands, 100 hands, 50 heads, 100 heads? Is that they're in multiple dimensions at the same time, being seen. We are transversing in multiple dimensions at the same time. It says in scripture that we have been raised up to sit together in heavenly places in Christ Jesus, far above all principality, power, rulership, dominion. That is plural, heavenly places. We are in multiple dimensions at the same time. We just don't experience it because we're not conscious of it. So, what is an out of body experience? A legit one, not as multivariate. A legit out of body experience is when you're actually conscious of it. You have lucidity, you're lucid. Now, one easy way to get in the out of body state is to become lucid in a dream. Now, how to do this? One cannot, in the dream, turn on a off and on switch. It has to be prefigured with your intention. Now, prior to this out of body experience that I'll explain, is that hours prior to falling asleep, I was laying down prostrate, straight, legs straight, arms to the side, still. I used to have podcasts on or music on. I've tested out and I've been testing out not having any music or audio on because one, if I'm using YouTube, there's always ads. And the ads seem to throw me off. Because when the ad comes on, I'm going to have to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to have to move and then turn it on. That causes stress. Um, it causes you to get out of your relaxation state. You need to be relaxed. You need to be in deep relaxation. So I stopped having audio on. I stopped having music on or anything. Just silence. So laying silent on my bed for an indefinite period of time. When you do this, at some point when you're still in silent, you should start to notice subtle nuances going on in your body. Some people in the out of body community, they say that sleep paralysis is the gateway, a gateway to the out of body experience. Well, some people also may experience sleep paralysis in different ways. I understand what sleep paralysis is, but you can't move. Though one can graduate from sleep paralysis and have it so much that you don't need that anymore, per se. You just need to understand certain triggers and nuances, vibrations and pulses that goes on in your body. For me, there's a sensation. There's a sudden sensation as I'm sitting still, a sudden sensation that happens within my body, and I start to sink. Lately, the sensation typically happens throughout my spine, in my back area. and I feel this tingling sensation. It is a vibration and a tingling sensation. So when this tingling sensation happens, this subtle nuances, pulsations in your body happens, there's a trigger, that trigger occurs. When you know that this trigger occurs, then this can be akin to sleep paralysis because you sunk in deeper. You're in a more relaxed state. Now, the out of body experience can happen in the afternoon, evening, in which I was laying still. I got up, I did stuff, came back, and I went to another attempt to lay still. At some point in time, my body began to get tired, and I got tired of laying prostrate on my back. But after I got the subtle nuances and the sensation in my body, I determined, okay, let me turn sideways and just go to sleep. So I turned sideways, and I found myself at some point in time, obviously fell asleep in a dream state. In this dream state, at some point in time, I became lucid. In the dream state, I knew that I was out of body. I said to myself in the dream that I am out of body. So since I knew I was out of body in this dreamscape, and to describe this dreamscape, it was at night. I was out in the parking lot of a store out at night. There was cars all around me, and it was dark at night. So I knew that I was out of body in this parking lot out at night, walking. Said to myself, oh, I'm out of body. I knew it. The fact of the matter that I knew it is because I said to myself that if I'm out of body, then I should be able to fly. So I attempted to jump up, and lo and behold, I did not fly, but I hovered in the air. Whereas in natural life, if you jump up, gravity is going to take you back down quickly. Whereas when I jumped up in this lucid state, in this out-of-body state, I floated in the air for some time before coming down to the ground. Another instance in which I knew that I was out of body is that I said to myself, since I'm out of body, let me call Jesus, Yeshua. Let me call my guardian angel, my angel. I said to myself, where is Jesus? Where's my guardian angel? These are some things that I say and I think in the natural state. So that's how it's important. It's setting intention is what are you saying in your wake state, in your natural state? Oftentimes can blur into your dream, lucid state, and the out-of-body state. It's important. It has credence. It has strength and power. Now, I was expecting that Yeshua and my guardian angel or angels to show up because I'm out of body. Nobody showed up. Now, I don't know if nobody showed up or not, or if it's just blotted from my mind, but I did not see Yeshua or a guardian angel or angel in this experience. I did not see any spirits. I did not see any demons, although they could have been hidden. They could have been manifested in different ways, but I did not see them apparently. I just saw people. So on the side of this store, in another instance in which I knew that I was out of my body is because I knew that children, have a bit of propensity to see people that are out of the body. So I see this kid, and this kid says to me, you coming to take me? That's pretty strange. You coming to take me? And then I see these 3 or 4 girls up to the right. I walk over to them. These are young girls, like children in their teens, whatnot. I go over to them and they ask me, are you an angel? So why would a few girls ask me if I'm an angel if I was not out of my body? You don't walk in the natural realm to random people and they ask you, are you an angel? So they must have saw something different about me. So I asked them, why? What do you see? They didn't respond. Another instance in which I knew I was out of my body is I told them that I will see them tomorrow, but it will be during the day. You see, knowing in the dream that I was on my body that I will see them tomorrow, but I said to them, I will see you during the day. I continued to walk around and saw a lot of strange things. Now, in that dream, alternate reality, parallel dimension, or some different realm, plane of existence of humanity, what seemed weird there was probably natural. The weirdness behind what I saw is accessories accompanying humans. Each human look it had some peculiarity to them. It was strange. They had accessories around them or accessories attached to them or on them. It was peculiar. It was strange. It was weird. But in the dream, I was not scared or anything. And that's another part is that some part of these out of body experiences is that it's good to have some type of retained stupor, retained sleepiness, because things that would be traumatic to you are not traumatic in that experience because you still have this percentage of a stupor, but still fully conscious and aware. But that small percentage of a stupor helps you not to be traumatized by the experience and the strangeness and the difference of the experience from your waking state. So I continued to walk around the humans, and then I saw various other people, and then I went into the store. The store was akin to Walmart. Now, when I went to the store, the dream fades. I don't remember after that. So this was my first out-of-body experience, but it was through and via lucid dreaming that I became conscious and lucid within a dream and became out of body, in which all my actions after becoming lucid was from the perspective that I'm out of body. So as I mentioned previously, I jumped up because I knew that there's no limitations now, and I could float in the air. The three girls were asking me if I'm an angel. This little kid was asking me if I'm coming to take him. In the dream, I called for and looked for Jesus, Yeshua, and angels. I looked around purposely as I was walking around to see if there's any demons or spirits or something unnatural, strange, because I knew that I was out of body and should be able to see things, you see. And if there probably was things, it remained hidden to me. As one begins to evolve in different experiences, you may see things differently that you didn't see before. So it may be a different experience where I may see Yeshua or angel, or a different experience where I may see this spirit or something like that. But it's very important as I close out here is that from a Christian perspective is that the problem that we have here is that there's so many people that are seeking out about experiences, and they have this mantra in which nothing can hurt you or harm you unless you believe it to be so. That may be true. But can you be deceived? Are you one that's going in with the truth and the light? And what is your truth? What is that light? The truth and the light within the word allows you to see with complete accuracy and to be able to discern good and evil. Discern what is not of God and what is of God. So it's important for people that have these experiences or seek them or fall into them, have a spiritual foundation so that they can discern what is right and what is wrong. Because you can have all these spirits, familiar spirits or guides or whatnot, whatever you may call them, Anunnaki, there's different ETs, aliens that you perceive as good or perceive as bad, and you don't test them. Or they tell you something that seems right or seems truthful, but they can give you 90% of the truth and then 10% of a lie. And you're already hooked in because of that 90% of truth that you received previously. And you gain their trust. But then there's that 10% of a lie. that pollutes you, and you believe it. And then they have you hooked. So you have to be wary. You have to be wary and have discernment that you're knowing who you're dealing with and that you are protected as well. And I gotta say that most people already experience this when they sleep. So it's nothing very fancy or something extravagant. Is this, are we able to become conscious of that experience, of what we're doing when we're asleep, or what we're doing when we're awake in multiple states? And the crux here is that if we can't become lucid while we're dreaming, what is it like when we become lucid when we are awake in this natural dimension? What abilities do we awaken and can we do when we become lucid in this natural dimension? What does that look like when we raise our consciousness, become more conscious of who and where we really are in this natural state? If this can be done in a dream state. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.